If a woman touches this in front of you, it's rarely accidental. Most men miss it, and by the time they realize what it meant, the moment is already gone. Listen carefully, because what I'm about to explain is something most women will never say out loud. Attraction is rarely loud. It rarely announces itself. Instead, it leaks out in small behaviors, tiny movements, subtle gestures the human brain makes when emotion overrides logic. As a psychologist who has spent years studying female behavior, I can tell you something important. Women communicate attraction differently than men. Men tend to express interest directly. Women often express it indirectly, through signals their subconscious reveals long before their words ever do. And one of the strongest signals appears when she starts touching something that belongs to you or something connected to you. This is called proximity bonding behavior. When a woman feels drawn to a man, her brain begins associating safety, curiosity, and emotional stimulation with his presence. That feeling creates a subtle urge to interact with his environment. Sometimes it's your watch. Sometimes it's your jacket sleeve. Sometimes it's the edge of your phone sitting on the table. She might pick it up and look at it for a second longer than necessary. She might run her fingers lightly across the fabric of your hoodie. She might adjust something on your shoulder that didn't really need adjusting. To most men, it feels random. But psychologically, it's not random at all. When someone feels attraction, the brain releases dopamine and oxytocin, chemicals linked to curiosity and connection. Those chemicals lower the natural social barrier that usually keeps people physically distant. And this is where things become interesting. Women who are not comfortable around you will create distance. Their bodies lean away. Their hands stay close to themselves. They keep objects between you and them. But when attraction begins forming, the opposite happens. Her hands start crossing that invisible line between you and her, not aggressively, not obviously, just enough to test the emotional space between you. Maybe she notices a piece of lint on your shirt and brushes it off. Maybe she lightly taps your arm when she laughs. Maybe she reaches for your hand for half a second while emphasizing a point in conversation. None of these actions alone guarantee attraction, but when they appear naturally, repeatedly, and without hesitation, they become extremely powerful indicators of comfort and interest. Here's something most men misunderstand. Women rarely initiate large signals of attraction first. Social conditioning has trained many of them to move slowly, subtly, and carefully. They test the waters through micro-actions before ever revealing stronger interest. Touching something connected to you is often one of those tests. It allows her to close the physical gap while still maintaining emotional safety. If the moment feels comfortable, her brain registers it as positive feedback. If it feels awkward, she can easily pull back without embarrassment. And this is why these small gestures matter more than men realize. A woman who feels nothing toward you will almost never cross that invisible boundary. Her body will protect her personal space naturally. But when she does cross it, when her hands start entering your physical orbit, something inside her is already curious about you. It doesn't mean she's deeply in love. It doesn't mean she's ready for commitment. But it does mean one important psychological door has started to open. And once that door opens, the way she behaves around you begins to change in ways most men overlook. Because the first signal is rarely the strongest one. It's simply the beginning of a pattern. And the real story begins when that pattern starts repeating itself in ways that feel almost too natural to notice, but far too intentional to ignore. Now, here is where the psychology becomes deeper, because the object she touches the most often reveals the level of interest she feels toward you. When a woman lightly touches your arm during conversation, that's usually playful curiosity. It's her way of checking the emotional temperature between you. She's asking a silent question. Is this connection safe to explore? But when she touches something more personal, like your necklace, your ring, your hoodie string, or even your hair, that's a very different signal. Those gestures require a higher level of comfort. Think about it from a psychological perspective. Human beings protect personal space instinctively. Touching something attached to another person requires crossing a deeper boundary. Women who feel neutral toward a man almost never do this. But women who feel intrigued often do it without even realizing. Maybe she notices the bracelet on your wrist. Instead of just looking at it, she reaches out and spins it slightly with her fingers. Maybe she sees a chain around your neck. She leans in a little closer and asks about it while lightly holding it between her fingertips. To an outside observer, it looks harmless. But from a behavioral psychology perspective, this is called comfort-driven proximity behavior. Her brain is allowing her body to move closer to you than social norms normally require. And when the brain allows closeness, it's usually because attraction has already begun forming beneath the surface. But there is another layer most men miss. When a woman touches something personal on you, she's not just testing comfort. She's also observing your reaction. Does he freeze? Does he lean away? Does he smile and stay relaxed? Women are extremely sensitive to emotional feedback in these moments. If you panic or become stiff, the moment dies instantly. But if you remain calm, grounded, and comfortable, something powerful happens in her mind. She subconsciously reads your calmness as confidence. And confidence is one of the strongest attraction triggers in human psychology. This is why some men accidentally ruin moments they didn't even realize were opportunities. They overthink. They react nervously. They treat the interaction like a big event. But to her, it was simply a natural expression of curiosity. The men who succeed socially are the ones who treat these moments as normal. They don't chase them. They don't highlight them. They simply stay present and relaxed. Because attraction grows best in environments that feel natural and emotionally safe. And here's something even more revealing. If she keeps finding small reasons to touch something connected to you, your sleeve, your hand, the edge of your jacket, it often means her brain is becoming comfortable with your presence. The human mind doesn't repeat behaviors that feel unsafe. It repeats behaviors that feel rewarding. Every time she reaches into your space and nothing awkward happens, her brain registers that interaction as positive. That positive feedback slowly builds emotional openness. And emotional openness is the foundation of attraction. But the most powerful signal isn't the first time she does it. It's when she keeps doing it, without hesitation, without thinking, as if touching something near you has become the most natural thing in the world. Because that's when the subconscious stops testing and starts trusting. And when that happens, the energy between two people quietly shifts in a way words can't easily explain. But there's an even more subtle behavior that reveals deeper attraction, and most men completely overlook it. Sometimes she won't touch you directly at all. Instead, she'll start touching herself in your presence. This isn't what many people assume. It's not about trying to be seductive. In psychology, this is known as self-grooming behavior. When a woman is around someone she feels attracted to, her subconscious mind often begins adjusting her appearance. She might play with her hair, she might lightly touch her necklace, she might adjust her sleeve, smooth her shirt, or trace the rim of her glass with her fingers while talking to you. These movements happen because attraction activates the brain's desire to appear appealing to the person we're interested in. It's the same reason people fix their posture when someone attractive walks into the room. Their brain wants to present the best version of themselves, but there's a specific gesture that stands out more than others. When a woman lightly touches her neck or collarbone while maintaining eye contact with you. This area of the body is psychologically associated with vulnerability and openness. The neck contains major arteries, and the human brain naturally protects it when feeling threatened. When someone exposes or touches this area while relaxed, it often indicates a sense of comfort and emotional openness. And comfort is the gateway to attraction. Again, this doesn't mean every small movement guarantees romantic interest. Human behavior is complex. But patterns matter. If she laughs easily around you, maintains eye contact, occasionally reaches into your space, and subconsciously adjusts her appearance while speaking with you. Those signals together paint a very different picture than words alone. Women often communicate attraction through atmosphere rather than direct statements. They create a feeling, a certain warmth in conversation, a softness in body language, a closeness that slowly builds without anyone announcing it. The mistake many men make is expecting attraction to look dramatic. They expect obvious flirting, clear declarations, overt signals. But real attraction is usually quieter than that. It reveals itself through comfort, through curiosity, through those small, almost invisible gestures that happen when someone genuinely enjoys being around you. And the men who understand these signals don't become arrogant about them. They become more attentive, because attraction isn't something you force. It's something you recognize, nurture, and allow to grow naturally. When you learn to read these subtle behaviors, you stop chasing attention. Instead, you start noticing when attention is already being given to you. And that shift alone changes the entire dynamic of how people respond to your presence. Now, let me tell you the truth. Most men discover far too late. Attraction isn't destroyed by saying the wrong line. It's usually destroyed by missing the emotional moment completely. A woman can show curiosity, warmth, and subtle interest. But if the man in front of her never recognizes it, the connection slowly fades. Not because she stopped liking him, but because emotional momentum disappeared. Human attraction works a lot like a conversation between two subconscious minds. One person signals curiosity, the other person acknowledges it. That acknowledgement builds comfort, and comfort allows attraction to deepen. But when signals go unnoticed, the emotional rhythm breaks. The woman eventually assumes the man isn't interested or isn't confident enough to engage with the moment. And she pulls her energy back. Not dramatically, just quietly. This is why awareness matters more than clever words. If you learn to observe body language, tone, and proximity behaviors, you start noticing opportunities most people miss entirely. A woman leaning slightly closer when she speaks, her hand resting near yours instead of pulling away, her curiosity about small personal details connected to you. These are invitations for conversation, connection, and presence. Not pressure, not performance, just presence. And here's something powerful to remember. Confidence isn't about dominating interactions. Real confidence is simply being comfortable enough with yourself that other people feel comfortable around you. When you respond calmly to moments of connection, you create emotional safety. And emotional safety is one of the strongest attraction magnets in human psychology. People are naturally drawn toward environments where they feel understood and relaxed. So when a woman reaches into your space, touches something personal, or shows subtle curiosity through body language, the best response isn't to panic or overanalyze. It's to stay grounded. Smile. Continue the conversation naturally. Let the interaction breathe. Because attraction grows best when neither person feels pressure. And the truth is, the men who become naturally attractive socially aren't the ones chasing signals. They're the ones who understand them, respect them, and respond with calm confidence. Now, I want to ask you something personal. Think about the last time you were talking with a woman you liked. Did she ever lightly touch your arm, adjust something on your shirt, or play with something that belonged to you while you were talking? Or did you notice her touching her hair, necklace, or collarbone while maintaining eye contact? Tell me honestly in the comments, what subtle signal have you noticed from a woman before but didn't fully understand at the time? Your experience might help another man recognize a moment he would have otherwise missed. And if this opened your eyes to the hidden psychology behind attraction, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with a friend who needs to understand these signals before he misses his chance again.